Republic, of course, playing in the red and white vests, with Brazil in their traditional yellow and green. Agatha with the first challenge, with Hermannova dropping off the net, something that she's worked hard on, and Hermannova puts the ball away for the Czech Republic. That is a good start for the Europeans.
It's interesting, we usually wouldn't talk about a blocker and their defense dropping off the net, but we've really been monitoring Barbara Hermannova closely. We were a little surprised at her dropping off the net so much in Vienna, but she's worked over the last 2 weeks and is really making some great defensive plays on that drop block. It's causing all sorts of problems for her opponent.
And as you have been calling, Dane, in some situations you want her to stay at the net. You don't want her to drop off on every play, and there is a clear and classic example of why.
Yeah, you know, because she's a great blocker, and if that ball is close to the net, why not stay there and get the stuff block, as she just showed she is capable of doing. I like the decisions, but they're very split-second decisions.
2-0 to the Czech Republic. Perfect start for the Europeans. Slukova unable to pick that one up, with Duda going over the top of the Hermannova or the Czech Republic's block. And Duda goes to the back of the Brazilian court to serve. Interestingly, serving Hermannova, not Slukova.
Well, if you have a game plan, right off the bat, you want to execute that game plan. Sometimes if you totally just adjust because you think that someone has an injury and they might be hampered, that can really throw your game off. So Brazil's going to go with their original game plan and see if that works and kind of feel out what kind of game that the Czech Republic are bringing. Because remember, in the semifinals, Markéta Slukova could not even pass a ball. She didn't attribute that to her shoulder at all. She just wasn't really ready to go.
Over on two from Markéta Slukova. Well, there's nothing wrong with that save, was there? Oh, but she puts that ball out of play.
That could be a problem right there. What an amazing dig right here by Markéta Slukova. She gets in the angle slot. She's still, she's calm, and she digs that ball nice and straight up in the air. You couldn't put it in a better position. Hermannova sets her, and then she tries to place it a little too precisely on the line, and it ends up out of bounds.
All tied. First set of the women's gold medal match. 3-all Brazil, Czech Republic. Brazil serving. Here's Hermannova on the attack. That's a lovely shot. Well, Hermannova knows that her great friend and teammate Markéta Slukova may not be at her best. She certainly raised her game in these early exchanges.
Well, you know what the interesting part is? We have done the research, and that's our job, to try to find out what is going on. Brazil, they may not know that Slukova is a little bit of an injury on that right shoulder. They might not even know it.
It's a good serve from Slukova right between the two Brazilian players. There, Hermannova tries to drop off the net, as we were describing, just a little late to get the attacking play from Agatha. Evenly matched in the early part of this first set.
That ball just passed a little bit too far off the net, but guess what? Great teams get out of trouble when they're out of system. Agatha with a big kill.
Into the net from Slukova. And let's not forget, Dane, that they've played each other already in this competition. It was on Saturday, in the end of the pool play, Saturday morning. And Brazil came out on top there, winning 2-1 over 3 sets. That's a good shot from Markéta Slukova.
Slukova, a little finesse here. She comes in, looks like she's going to hit, maybe go line. Sees the defender, Duda, sliding into the line, so she cuts it angle.
Here's Hermannova with service. Again serves deep to Agatha. Agatha for Brazil over the top of the block. The cover is there from Slukova, who now looks to finish the shot. Oh, what great play from Duda. And Hermannova watching the other side of the court like a hawk. Beautiful play from Hermannova.
And I think Brazil got caught a little bit asleep on this one. had the opportunity. There's a great dig in the backcourt by Duda. She gets the ball over, and then instead of setting her partner, here's Brazil not expecting the over on 2, and that's exactly when you do it. Hermannova with a great little poke drop shot to help and get her partner out of trouble. She didn't want to have her partner have to swing at that ball once again.
It's a big serve. It's too long from Hermannova. Scores are tied once again. Agatha, Olympic silver medalist with the service. She's been a runner-up in here in Hamburg for the past 2 years. She's trying so hard to go one better. With her former partner Barbara Sessius, Agatha took the silver here a year ago to Laura Ludwig and Kira Brockenhorst, and the same the year before that.
Now, if Brazil is paying attention, we've seen Slukova hit a ball out of bounds. We've seen her hit a ball into the net, and now she gets blocked. It looks like they are honing in on it now. I would expect not to see a lot of balls going to Hermannova. The majority probably will start going to Marketa Slukova. She gets away with this one, a little tool off the block, but notice she hits the ball off the top of the net first, which indicates, you know, not the cleanest of hits, even if a block is not there. So we haven't seen a real clean attack just yet. That's a crisp shot by Agatha, going in and just seeing the defense, measuring it, going high off the top of Hermannova, right down the line. That's textbook line shot volleyball.
It's the youngster Duda with service for Brazil. Well, it was right down the middle, but just a little too long. The float serve at 58 kilometers per hour.
It's a big issue for this team, I believe. Agatha and Duda, whenever they have momentum, they make a great play. They're giving it back with a missed serve a lot of times. We saw it in the semifinals as well.
Great block at the net from Hermannova.
Hermannova already with a couple of blocks. Look at her technique, up and over, the little bit of a gap between her and the net. She needs to be a little closer, but nonetheless, she gets that with her right hand, then the left hand, and counted up for a block. Hermannova bringing the emotion as well. She knows she needs to step the emotional game, keep her partner up and ready to go.
There's another error from Agatha, too deep. Nice rainbow shot, but she's placed that way too long.
Unforced errors. Oh man, is that ball close. Just out. Just out. I thought it might be an opportunity to challenge, but wasn't quite close enough.
Another service error, this time from Hermannova. That's a shame, because to go into a 2-3-point break at the technical timeout at the halfway point of this opening set is a real psychological advantage for either team.
Oh, wow. Indecision right there. I got it, you take it. And that ball falls right in the middle. Slukova looks at Hermannova. Hermannova at Slukova. Nobody makes a move. And a perfectly placed ace for Brazil. Same spot, but the Czech Republic make the adjustment. You see how they kind of shifted over, and there was no question that Hermannova was going to take that ball and take initiative. She does, as she rips it right at Duda's head, and that will result in a kill.
Yeah, the Czech Republic have a 1-point lead, 11 points to 10 going into the technical timeout. 30-second break, and great start, I would say, Dane, for Hermannova, settling and realizing that she needs to bring her A game with her partner potentially not at her best. And also a pretty impressive start for Agatha. A few forced errors, but definitely showing confidence, and confidence that they know that they have beaten the Czech Republic already this weekend.
And, you know, and even that Hermannova is somewhat covering for Slukova. She seems like she's doing everything to relieve any type of pressure. Remember, Markéta Slukova has a ton of experience, a two-time Olympian, getting 5th place in the Olympic with Kristina Kolakova back in 2012, and then a 17th place finish with her current partner, Hermannova. So she knows how to handle herself despite having some ailments right now. And their head coach, Simon Nausch, told me right before this, he says it might be a biceps tendon that Slukova is dealing with as she serves the ball into the bottom of the net. They already had an MRI and doesn't look terrible, but they are definitely concerned about that right shoulder. I'll note that Simon Nausch is also Markéta Slukova's husband, been married for a couple of years. And there's Agatha up at the net. You can see the intensity she's bringing. The silver medalist from 2016 who would love to get this record-breaking 150,000.
Yeah, that's 2 very quick points coming out of the back of the tech timeout for Brazil. Reversing the positions now with that 1-point lead, 12-11. It's a good second half for the ladies in the traditional yellow and green vests of Brazil. Here's the youngster, Duda, with service for Brazil. Targeting Slukova.
Oh, that ball looked like it was up, but the right hand, the one hand, doesn't control it. It's a nice little roll shot. Markéta Slukova comes in. High roll shot. Here comes Duda. And you know what? I think she can get 2 hands on that.
Yeah, and you said in the semi-finals, Dane, on a number of occasions that you'd like to see commit to those digs with a 2-hand attack rather than one. Agatha is all over the front of this net. Playing exceptionally well here.
Nice set, back set, and then a cut on the angle. Markéta Slukova not close to that one. How about that serve right there? Short serve, you don't see that very often, but once you have established a pattern of serving that deep float serve, sometimes the receivers are on their heels, and then you throw in a quick short ball, and look at the passion, the fire coming out of Agatha. She is bringing it. Looks like Duda wants to give her a high five, but Agatha in her own world right there, fired up.
14-12 to Brazil. They've made the break here.
Another short serve.
Good shot from Slukova. Good communication between the Czech players. That's an important side out.
Great cut shot right there by Slukova. Opening up the shoulders, facing, and really getting it done. Passing the ball much better than at the beginning of the day in the semifinals when she was struggling. Over on 2, catches the Czech Republic a little off guard, and Brazil with a 2-point advantage. And that ball, you know what, should be played. You got to be ready for that. And she just seems like she's not ready. Kind of falling sideways, didn't expect that ball to come over on 2, and you have to take advantage of those opportunities. You see, look at that look of Agatha. She knows that she got away with one. It was a terrible pass, and they end up winning the point. You're always happy when you get away with it.
Ball is out of play, and the errors are now coming from the Czech Republic, allowing Brazil to take a 3-point lead.
This ball just gets away from Hermannova. She gets underneath it, tries to put too much power on it, and that ends up just out of bounds. It's been, you know, a lot of little errors here and there, and Brazil just putting bunches of points together. You see those pairs of two stacking up for a 3-point lead right now, and communication. You can just tell that today the Czech Republic not playing on the same level they were a couple of weeks ago, but they've still managed to get to the final, and they're in position still to win this thing, which shows a lot of character of how strong this team is and how much they're going to improve. I was utterly surprised at the semifinal. They didn't play well, but they found a way to win, and that's the sign of a great team.
So the Czech Republic call a timeout. They've used it up for this set. But Brazil have the advantage at 16-13. Slukova has put that ball out of play, 17-13. Now, as we get right down to the business end of this opening set, the heat is on the Czech Republic, now trailing by 4. These aren't the best shots we've seen from Brazil. They're just forcing the errors in response from the Czech Republic.
Well, Brazil's just keeping the ball in, and then they're allowing the Czech Republic to make the errors. It's not like they're earning a ton of points. Right now, the Czech Republic giving a lot of points away. That's a big hit right there. And head coach Simon Nausch told me that, you know, it's not always about just focusing on the win. Of course, that's why they're here, but he wants his team to learn every single time they go out. So they know they're going to be playing this team in the future, in the run-up to the 2020 Olympics. So that's what he loves about this tournament so much, is that you get to play against the top 10 teams and really make improvements. So that's the mindset of the Czech Republic, to learn on every single play about their opponent.
It's that lovely shot from Duda here. Takes them getting closer to that 21-point score. Agatha with the serve. Again targets Slukova. Oh, look at that for a block from Agatha to go 19-14. Well, a lot of the Brazilian points have been coming from the errors made by the Czech Republic, but this is just beautiful blocking from the Brazilian at the net.
Great timing, great press. And you know, Agatha's just playing on a really high emotional level right now. Every play, you see her wearing her emotions on her sleeve right there, not afraid to get fired up, and is just really locked in with her focus, you can tell. That ball's out of bounds as well. So you can tell that Slukova doesn't really have the same power and intent that she normally attacks at, and she's made quite a few hitting errors. This one, trying to pinpoint the line, it ends up a few inches wide, and the points are really starting to stack up for Brazil.
Set point for Brazil. That's a better shot from Slukova. Marqueta there, putting it right down the center of the Brazilian court. I'm not sure the Czech Republic will be able to hold on to this first set, but that will just give them a little bit of a confidence boost. Second set point for Brazil. Slukova with the serve. Agatha now on the attack. And there it is. 21-15. First set goes to Brazil. Agatha and Duda getting a lot of those points due to errors from the Czech Republic rather than particularly outstanding play. But the Olympic beach volleyball champion is sitting right next to me here in the commentary box. has called it perfectly. They're just keeping the ball up, keeping the ball in play, letting the opposition make the errors.
Yeah, they're playing smart volleyball, keeping it in. Let's take a look at the match statistics. 3-2 in blocks in favor of Brazil and 2-0 in aces. We saw those short serves really giving the Czech Republic all sorts of problems. Right now, Brazil just looks sharp. They look like they're asserting themselves. They're very focused. As we look at Brazil's serve placement, 33% going to Slukova, 27 to Hermannova, and I assure you, as this goes on, that percentage for Slukova is going to rise. She is going to get the majority of the serves here in the second set because the Brazilians know that Slukova not coming at her normal attack rate, and she's showing a couple errors.
Dane, here we go at the start of the second set. It's a must-win scenario for the Czech Republic. If you were the coach of the European ladies right now, what would your one tip be?
Keep the ball in. You know, don't err. If Brazil's gonna beat you, make them beat you with blocks, defensive plays, and hitting the ball, not by your unforced errors, hitting the ball out or in the net. Just keep it in. Even though maybe you're not gonna get many winners at times, keep it in. Give yourself a shot. There it is. Nice little placement to the corner by Hermannova. And she's really been playing some smart volleyball the entire month, you should say. You know, 3 weeks ago in Vienna, was on her game. Looked like she made big-time improvements on her drop block defense. And she's just playing well. Whoa!
That's a beautiful ace from Barbara Hermannova. Couldn't come at a more important time. Czech Republic have to win this second set to take it to a third set tie-break. And Hermannova really raising her game, knowing that her partner is not at full fitness. That's a classic play from Brazil. A lovely back set from Duda, giving Agatha all the time in the world to put this one away.
Agatha right now looks locked in, making it look easy. You know, she won the World Championships in 2015 with Barbara, and then in 2016 a silver medal at the Olympic Games. So she has got her eyes on the prize. Definitely wants to be back in the 2020 games representing Brazil with her new young partner Duda, and they are on fire right now.
She's taken the silver medal here for the past 2 years. I think she's had enough of silver. It's definitely gold that is motivating Agatha here. Those two runner-up positions with her former partner Barbara Seixas. Good cover from Slukova. Can she finish it now? Good play, and that's what the Czech players need to do. Markéta Slukova, if she doesn't have that power play that is such a crucial part to her game, then the shot placement now becomes key to success.
Yeah, for Slukova right now, she doesn't have that power game. Just work on the shots, but also focus on her defense. She needs to run a few balls down and put the pressure on the Brazilians.
Good break here for the Czech Republic at 4-2. Slukova serving Duda this time. There's the set. That's why they've been serving Agatha rather than Duda. No, not just amazing in defense, but she's got a hell of an arm. Look at this, 80 kilometers per hour on the speed of the ball for that spike from Duda. And she's just 20 years of age, literally a couple of weeks ago. Service ace from Duda. Ties the scores at 4-all. That's a better serve receive from Slukova. That's a lovely shot. That's what we're talking about. If Slukova has to leave the power play out of this match, placement of these shots is key. And this is another excellent shot from Slukova, and a well-deserved point.
Yeah, perfectly pinpointed in the corner. Sometimes you have to accept that you don't have a certain part of your game and focus on the other part. And so accuracy and precision right now should be the focus for Slukova. Here's another opportunity. As she tries to hit that ball, and the power just doesn't seem to be there, and Agatha makes her pay. And So it's got to be a bit frustrating for Marketa Slukova. Beautiful defensive play, little 360 turn, gets ready to put the ball away. The cut shot is open, but she tries to power it. Brazil digs it up, and then they go for a cut shot of their own. Brazil looks fresh right now.
That's what we need to see. Good cut shot on the ball from Slukova.
Really nice cut. Little back set, she takes a look, and then that cuts that thing across the grain. And that's all she needs to do. She's such a great player. Just needs to focus on pinpointing those precision shots, and they're gonna be in good shape. Oh, how about that? You know, I honestly haven't seen this all year out of Agatha. This type of intensity and focus. She's locked in. She's playing with confidence. As soon as she hits that ball, you know, she's turning around to go and get ready for the next play. She is about business. Look at that face and that focus.
Duda serves the ball into the net. It's another easy, quick point on the board for the Czech Republic. But it's a must-win situation, this second set for the Europeans. Now, this is Barbara Hermannova, 27 years of age, residing in Prague. Floats the ball into Agatha, who's now on the attack for Brazil, over the top of the block. And that's a good shot from Agatha. We missed it from the camera. Here's a replay. Just watch the ball on the line. It drops, it drops, it drops. And it's in play.
Right now, Agatha can do no wrong. Ooh, left-handed right there. Survival play by Duda. And it trickles over the net, and you just get a sense that Brazil is playing on a little higher level right now, a little sharper. And after that first set, they're in command, they have confidence, and everything seems to be really rolling their way at the moment.
Yeah, ambidextrous play from Duda, showing that she can convert the points with a left or a right arm. It's excellent play from the youngster. That looks to be a little too big from Hermannova. 9-7, break back with Brazil.
Hermannova can't afford that one. She tries to go for the shot. It was the correct shot, just the execution was too long. No touch on that. There's going to be a challenge for sure by Agatha. I don't know if she is sure if she touched it or not, but she believes that ball was hit into the net and did not hit the block. I think it hit part of her arms. Let's take a look here. Yeah, there it is, right on her left arm. It got a lot of the net, but it did touch the blocker. And so this call will probably stay as it stands as a point for the Czech Republic. Papadougoulis was all over it. And it's hard to see it in real time, but I believe the correct call was made. And here's the hit, there's the touch off the left arm and out of bounds. So give a lot of credit to the line judges and the head referee getting that one correct in real time.
There's the confirmation that the ball was touched by the Brazilian blocker and then knocked out of play.
It's almost as if Agatha is still shaking her head. Did she not see what we just saw?
Delay.
I mean, it's clear right there. See how the ball hits the arm right there? It did not stay on the Czech Republic side as Agatha would have liked. Sometimes it feels like that net is what pushes into you, and you're not aware that the ball actually hit your arm. So one challenge left for Brazil. Duda just teeing off. Right now, Brazil really kind of having their way on whatever shots that they want. I mean, they're ripping the ball. 79 kilometers per hour on that one. And Marketa Slukova is playing in the angle. Duda just hits it too sharp.
That looks to be out of play. Slukova has overhit that one. 11-8. Now we're coming into the halfway point, the technical timeout, when there is a total of 21 points on the scoreboard. And this is where the Czech Republic need to side out and get a couple of points back before we take that quick breather. There's the first one. That's good news.
Solid shot by Marketa Slukova. Taking a look at the defense and then getting up and rolling that ball right over the top of the block. I think she could be successful doing that all day long. Just has to lock in and believe in it.
Unlucky. 12-9 going into the technical timeout, but Brazil have already wrapped up the first set at 21-15. The heat is on the Europeans, Dane. The Czech Republic need to dig a little deeper here. You called it perfectly. Brazil seem to have control of this match. Every time the Czech Republic put down a couple of points, Brazil have the answers to tie and then go clear again.
It just doesn't seem right at this point of the match that the Czech Republic has been able to really pressure Brazil or make them uncomfortable or make them do something that they're not really comfortable doing. And on the flip side of that, Brazil really putting the Czech Republic in some tough situations and maybe not at full strength. We don't know for sure, but we do know that the right shoulder of Marketa Slukova has been bothering her a bit, and it may be slowing her down considerably.
Well, they said in their interview after their semi-final victory that the injury issues were giving them more motivation to perform to their best. But we can clearly see that Makita there is not got the power that we're used to seeing. Certainly the power play that we saw from her when the Czech Republic lifted the Vienna Major just a couple of weeks ago in Austria. Second half of the second set. Brazil have won the first and lead the second at 12-9. Good hustle from all players on court. But there it is. Slukova fires the ball to the body of Brazil's Agatha. And they take a much-needed point here.
Agatha with that one arm up and the poke deep to the corner. This is a great poke by Agatha after Duda's dig, and Marketa Slukova gets that ball up, gathers herself, and then she unleashes a little power. That's probably the strongest hit that we've seen out of her, and it results in a kill, trying to close the gap here.
Great play from Duda.
There's a perfect pass. Well, I can't say it's perfect, a little tight to the net, but Duda goes in with a one-legged pokey there.
Little confusion from the Czech players, but they get it sorted. And a shot right down the middle of the Brazilian court brings them another valuable point. Brazil still with the advantage at 13-11, but the Czech team here holding their own. This is better.
We're seeing a couple of swings. We haven't seen Slukova rip the ball like she has on the last couple of plays. Looks solid.
Placement of the shot is what we talked about in the first half of this second set. It has brought the Czech Republic most of their points. And here's another Perfect placement of the ball from Slukova.
Agatha up at the net, tries to turn and get this up, but the shot's just too good. Slukova knows that's a winner.
Hermannova puts that service out.
That looked very close right there. I believe that the challenge, I believe the Czech Republic is going to challenge this, whether that ball was in or out. It looked kind of close. The official call was out. Oh,
That one needs a closer look.
very close. And that's not the angle we're gonna find. We want to look at the, here we go. Oh, there it is. Ball just out, so another great call by the referees and the line judge. Now you hear that huge line call by Hermannova, and Slukova would be wise to continue to listen. She's given some great calls to her partner, who is looking right at the defender and knows where to go. Hermannova instructing Slukova the right direction.
The service error from the Czech Republic, giving the point and the break advantage back to Brazil at 15-13. Quick side switch. Duda with service. Good shot from Slukova. Big point on the board for the Europeans.
Big hit right there. We've seen Slukova really turn it up over the last few points in terms of velocity on her swings.
Wow, put it away for the third time of asking. Excellent work at the net from Barbara Hermannova.
A lot of heat here. There's a swat block by Hermannova. There's a stuff up in the air after a powerful hit. And then finally, it's Duda that just lights it up. Hermannova dropping that time. That's a case where, you know, she got a couple of blocks. Maybe you want to stay up there and put that wall right in front of Duda's face, and she might not swing so hard. So Hermannova a little disappointed right there. I don't know if it was because she dropped or because she did not make the defensive play successfully. 16-14, Brazil closing in on that record-setting payday of $150,000 on the line here for first place.
Played. Hermannova, Slukova digging deep here now, the Czech Republic. They know they have to win this second set. And there's a much greater feeling of urgency and determination now from the two players in red and white.
Great rally and great decision by Hermannova. Squeaking that ball right in between the block of Agatha. But the Czech Republic having to work pretty hard for each and every point. Beautiful set, two-handed bump set from Duda. And Agatha knows not to power it through, just to roll it over the top. And Brazil just 4 points away now, and the countdown is on.
to 15. Agatha really pumped up here right now. You can sense that that gold medal is getting closer and closer.
I mean, did you see that celebration? After she puts this away, check this out. She turns and she is starting to feel it right here. I haven't seen this kind of fire out of Agatha since the Olympic Games. And wow, is she bringing it right now, playing with all sorts of confidence.
Well, the 35-year-old veteran of the women's tour really turning it on out there now. Here's Hermannova on the attack for the Czech Republic, and the block from Agatha. Well, she's pumping herself up. She believes right now she can do no wrong. It's 19-15 to Brazil. This could easily go 2-0 for the South Americans.
Now, this is a perfect example of an athlete really feeling it. Confidence higher than you can imagine. Look at that turn to the crowd and the roar. Agatha on top of her game, maybe playing the best volleyball she has played all year long. She is hungry.
That's a good shot from Barbara Hermannova, squeezing that ball between the two Brazilian players. And a massive side out for the Czech duo. Brazil had taken that point, they would have gone to match points.
And Agatha and Duda currently ranked first in the FIVB rankings and first in the World Tour winnings this year, with one win, that coming in Itapema, Brazil, earlier in the year.
Great play from Agatha. She predicted in the semis that Brazil would take it this year, and it looks like that prediction is coming true.
She's on top of it. She really knows when to execute the finesse, the power, the block is on. Everything really rolling right now for Brazil. Agatha leading the charge with her young 20-year-old partner, Duda. They are completely dominating right now.
Match point for Brazil. Can Agatha wrap it up with her own service? The veteran of the women's tour has been outstanding. Can she finish it now? Slukova on the attack for the Czech Republic. Agatha drops off the net, just misses it. Second match point for Brazil. All smiles from Slukova. One senses that the Czech team have succumbed to the fact that this gold medal belongs to Brazil. Slukova serves Duda. Duda on the attack. Down. Oh, that ball could be out. The ball is out of play. It's another point back. Oh, Duda with just a little too much power on that play. Misses the blue line by a couple of centimeters.
Yeah, she ripped that ball across court, just barely missing her target.
Match point 3. That one counts. Duda puts it away. But no. There is a challenge.
Let's take a look at this big hit cross court. Was there a net violation? Hermannova said net, and Duda shakes her head, no. Oh yeah, there's a follow through. And there's no question that this is going to be ruled a net violation on the 20-year-old Duda. And the gap will continue to close here. Slukova and Hermannova really putting up a fight. There's the net on the official review. Definitely a fault on Duda. Point for the Czech Republic, and they're 1 point away from maybe turning this thing around.
Now, this would be quite remarkable. No more challenges left for Brazil. And what they've done is they've called the timeout to try and get a slightly longer break here.
Couple of errors, big errors, right? A net violation and a ball hit out of bounds. That's why you want to keep it in. You want to make the other team earn their points. No more unforced errors.
Look at the instruction coming here from Agatha on the right of your screens to the youngster Duda on the left. Spelling out exactly how they're going to close this gold medal out. The Czech Republic battled their way through the semi-finals. It would be remarkable if they could take this to a third set tie-break. And here we go. Match point again for Brazil. And after the fourth attempt, Brazil take the FIVB World Tour Finals. Agatha, who's been runner-up here in Hamburg,